Alright, welcome to your Sketch and Extrude a Lego project. So we're going to create a new document. We're going to call it the Lego. Make sure you include your last name. Okay, so start out with a sketch that matches your dimensions. Now, this is just a demo. The dimensions in here are not the correct size for a Lego. So make sure that you use the measurements that you took. So I'm starting out with my basic square that are the dimensions that I measured. Okay, and then from there I'm going to extrude that up to the height of my cube and make sure that you're excluding the height of the cube plus the little knobs on the top of the Lego. So I have this my basic cube here. I'm going to flip it over to the bottom and I'm going to draw my square so that I can extrude the inside of that cube out just like it looks on the Lego. So I'm just going to make a sketch, and my sketch plane, make sure that you select the actual surface of your cube and not one of the sketch planes. And if you need to, you can shut the sketch planes off over in the Features tab on the left. So make sure you click on that. And then I'm just going to draw a basic square. It's not going to be perfectly centered, but we're going to go through this process of showing you how to center it. So again, remember, my dimensions are not correct. Reference the dimensions that you took with your calipers. So first thing I'm going to do is find the center of my cube. So by dragging over the edge, you can find that midpoint, and then you can follow it until those two yellow dotted lines meet, and that's where you would place your point for your center. And then doing the same thing for the square that I just drew. Okay, and you can see they were close. They were almost lined up. Okay, but to make sure that this is centered, you want to click on the coincident tool, click on the center of your square, and then the center of your cube, and it will line it up so that it's coincident. Then I'm going to extrude out the inside of my Lego. So we're going to click on our newly drawn square and do the remove function. You want to make sure it doesn't go all the way through, and you want to set this to the depth of the inside of the cube that you measured using your calipers. Okay, then from this point we're going to draw the circle in the middle of the bottom of our cube. So again, you want to make sure you're clicking on that face that's on the inside to place your sketch. Okay, and you can see how that sketch 3 plane goes through the cube at that depth that I want to draw at. Okay, and then again I'm going to find the center of my square because that's where I want to place this circle. So now I have that reference point on center. And you're going to click it out, drag it out, and make sure that you use 2 circles here. You have an inner diameter circle and an outer diameter so that you can actually extrude this tube out from the inside. Okay, so I'm going to extrude this out. You notice it goes way past. There's an option over here where I can put it right up to the face. So if I click up to face, and then I click on the very bottom of my Lego, it matches that cylinder up with the bottom of my Lego. And then you want to make sure it's merged with part 1, and then hit your check mark. Okay, so here I'm just checking the distance from the middle of my circle to the edge to match up the dimensions. Okay, now you're going to go to the top side and we're going to draw our 4 little peg knobs that are at the top. So to do that, you're going to set one circle and get it to the proper dimension, and then you're going to reference that center to the edge. Okay, so this is the part where you had to do a little bit of math, taking your measurements to make sure this is located in the correct spot. Okay, and then you can draw a linear pattern, or you can draw all 4 of these independently and then set them all at the correct dimensions from the edge. Okay, but I'm going to do a 2x2 linear repetition tool here. Okay, and these are kind of the default measurements that I did to get it close, but I want to reference that edge, and so I get an error, so I'm going to delete these 2 dimensions that came along with the linear replicator, and I'm just going to manually set those dimensions from the middle of my circle to my edge. And now they're all 0.25 from the edge. Okay, so then I'm done with that sketch, and then the last step here is to extrude out those pegs. And make sure you're selecting the pegs and not the extra face there. And then just type in the dimension for your pegs to make sure that that's correct. Okay, and then look it over. If it doesn't look quite right, then maybe you missed something. But go down here and rename your part to your Lego with your last name. And then you're going to right click and export this part as an STL to send it over to Prusa Slicer and get it ready for the printer. Okay, and then you're going to take that STL file and go on to the next video.